Well, that's a thing. What's up, internet? My name's Ori. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, hit that like button. We're breaking down everything that happened on the Big Brother live feed yesterday. And oh boy, did things go off the rails. So if anybody's been keeping up, the latest update that we had was after the wall HOH endurance competition. Carson was able to beat out Todrick in the final two, and he became HOH. Now, he had this whole plan because he worked at a deal with Todrick. Hey, you fall down, I won't put you up. Apparently, the additional details to the deal were I won't put you up initially. If you win veto, don't use it, and I won't put you up as a replacement nom if you keep to those deals, right? There wasn't a backdoor promise where he wouldn't put him up if, let's say, Miesha won the veto and pulled herself down. I think he was leaving that option open, and it seemed like the targets this week were Miesha, get her out. If that doesn't work for some reason, try and get Todrick out. Everything seemed to be going to plan. The twisters were looking great. You had Carson, Cynthia, Shayna, all excited, working together. Everything seemed like it was going perfectly to plan. And then things started to take a little bit of a south turn. So we started to see Carson, Cynthia, and Shayna continue to, work out this plan and what they're going to do. They were like, let's reaffirm the deal with Todrick and make sure everything is going to be going the right way. Because they were like, look, when we were put on the block, nobody talked to us, nobody gave us updates. We want to do this fair. We want to do this the right way. So we want to be completely honest with Miesha. Let her know that she's going on the block. Work with Todrick, make sure he knows what's going on and where their heads are at and what they're thinking of doing. Probably not the best strategy for Big Brother, but this is what they want to do. So you kind of get like the original OG four that were working together from like the Foundation Alliance before it became the Foundation. It was like the two girls, two gays. You had Shayna and Cynthia, Carson and Todrick, all kind of, talking, being like, hey, look, let's work together. We'll get Miesha out this week. We'll come together as kind of like a final four. We'll get Todd out. We'll get Lamar out. We'll battle it out, the four of us, kind of the OG final four. And everyone's like, yeah, let's do this. And even Todrick's like, yeah, we'll see. Because as soon as this is over, things start to go sour. Todrick goes and he plans with Miesha on how they're going to get themselves out of this situation. Basically, the deal is Miesha's going up. If Miesha takes herself down, Todrick's going to go up. If Todrick doesn't take Miesha down, they don't want that. And he's, how do we save each other? I'll tell you, they pulled a rabbit out of the hat on this one because things just completely took a turn. Todrick ends up going talking to Cynthia. He's like, look, I gotta talk to you. And he starts throwing Shayna under the bus. And I have never seen a turn in Cynthia where she goes from, yeah, no, like Shayna is my girl, to all of a sudden, I can't stand her. I don't want to sleep in the same bedroom with her. Basically, they've completely turned it into Shayna was playing both sides. She had a final four with them and in sync, and she had a final four with Carson, and she was the one who told Todrick that Carson was such a big threat and needed to go on the block and was coming after him and gunning for Carson. They've just switched this whole thing up. What's sad about this too is Shayna kind of reinforced this thought process earlier with Cynthia, because they were talking about how, yeah, Miesha like wouldn't even talk to me. If anything, she would give me like little crumbs of information. And Cynthia's like, that's better than me. She wouldn't even talk to me. So it kind of even gave Cynthia a little bit more of like, oh, that, yeah, you know what? She would talk with Miesha. Maybe this is all true. Cynthia gets Carson involved. It's like, you got to hear this from the horse's mouth. Carson starts believing it. This is when Shayna Cynthia and Carson decide to have a meeting upstairs in the HOH, and Shayna and Cynthia are going at it. And what really sucks for Shayna is it's a logic that you can't even argue against. It's just, I guess the best way to say it, it's so dumb, but it's true what they're saying, but like it doesn't make sense. So their big problem is that, oh, you were working both sides, you were playing both sides, you wanted to get Carson out, you were happy to see Carson go. She's like, I just saved Carson. I had the power of veto and took Carson off the block. And they were like, you were doing things that, even though they were beneficial to us, like they were more beneficial to you. It's like, that's literally the name of the game. When you work with somebody, you do things that are not just beneficial for you, but beneficial for both parties. And that's how you come together into an alliance. What is going on? How, like, Shayna was just as frustrated as I am with this right now. She's like, I don't even know what to say other than, I swear, this isn't true. Like, I'm with you guys. They're turning and twisting this onto me, but there's like almost nothing I can say because, like, yes, it's like it's true. I would talk to them, but to get information and bring it back to you guys, I would always tell it to you. I've shown it with my actions of using the veto when I had the chance to save Carson, and now you're saying that I was the one gunning for Carson, and Carson would be gone if it wasn't for Shayna. Like, I don't understand how it's gotten to this point. She's like, I'll swear on my kids, and Shayna's like, that's fine, but Lamar and Todrick and Todd, they're all backing up Miesha in this. Like, they're saying it's all true too. And Shayna's like, I don't even talk game to Lamar or Todd. Like, she's like, I don't talk to them. And it has been just a wild turn of events. The entire house is now against Shayna. Shayna is person non grata. They weren't talking to her. Like, she kind of separated herself. Luckily, that has seemed to change now. Carson was like, look, besides game, you don't feel like you have to isolate yourself. We can work this out. It's just a game. Somehow, all the targets got turned off of Miesha and Todrick, and now they're on Shayna. I'm just thrown for a complete loop. How this all happened within a 24-hour period is mind-blowing. So I'm almost at a loss of words. So the whole fight happens, right? And then it's like, all right, so what's the plan now, right? What are we going to do now that we're all against Shayna? Back to the way it was, right? So Carson's original nominee plan was Miesha and Todd. He wanted to put them up, and then with the possibility that if Miesha came down, they could put up Todrick or Lamar or whoever. So now the plan is put up Miesha and Todd, which, by the way, were his nominees. Carson nominated Miesha, Todd to go off the block. The idea being, there's only 6 people playing for the veto, so there is a chance that Shayna doesn't even play. An actual backdoor, a full-on, you don't even get a chance to save yourself in veto, backdoor, 6-finger plan. Now it's all up to the draw on who gets drawn to play veto. We might get that before Monday's episode. We might just see that happen on Monday's episode where they draw and then play. We're not sure, but it's going to be a live veto on Monday. But yeah, that's kind of where we stand. And then the worst part, right, as like a feed watcher, right? Because like this whole thing was like watching the Titanic sink from another ship, and there's literally nothing you can do, and that thing is going down, and you want to save Shayna, but you just watch this, and there's nothing you can do to stop that iceberg from hitting the Titanic. And then afterwards, Todrick and Miesha, they kind of meet up, and they're like, I'm kind of surprised how easy that was. they are so impressed with themselves. And they're like, oh, yeah, after this, next week, you win HOH. We put Carson up, we get him out. It's like, what? How did they manipulate Cynthia into this? And then because they got Cynthia, they got Carson, and because they got Carson, they have all the power. I'm almost impressed with how mad I am at it. I literally don't know how they pulled this off, but they did it, and it might be the biggest flip. And I just, wow, how did we get here? But it is where we are. That pretty much covers what happened on the feeds yesterday. We got the nominees. We had that big fight. We have the plan moving forward now. It's all up to Veto. I am pulling for Shayna so hard to be able to win what would be her third veto in a row, to stay in the house this week. If that happens and she uses it on Todd, maybe we see Todrick go up and we're guaranteed one of them to go. With the way things are, they might just put Lamar up and vote Todd out. I don't know. I honestly don't know where things are going to go right now. Things are so crazy. They're so in flux. Who knows? Something could happen in there today. This house is so fickle on how it switches from one to another. And you know what? I'm actually excited for it. But once again, everybody, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. And if you made it all the way through this video, hit that like button if you enjoyed it. My name's been Ori. I will see you all next time. There is an episode tonight where we'll see the HOH and probably the nominees, maybe even this fight. And then Monday will be a live watch party for the live veto and eviction. So once again, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and I will see you next time.